another TikTok, Facebook, YouTube live. It is Wednesday, the 11th. Wednesday, the 11th of June. We are navigating our way nicely through June. The sun is shining. It is meant to be, what's it meant to be? It is meant to be 25 degrees today here in sunny Lancashire, though I am sat here in a fleece because I'm absolutely cold this morning. I'm freezing. I'm really cold this morning. To be fair, I've only got my gym vest on under my fleece. But I was like, yeah, it's not 25 degrees yet. It might be 25 degrees in a few hours, but it ain't 25 degrees at the moment. I am Baltic. Yes, I'm rather a bit chilly willy this morning. Anyway, there we go. How are we all? Have we all had a good... Did I see you yesterday? No, not really well. I was on yesterday morning, and then I did a live with my community at 11. But other than that, I wasn't on last night. So how was your Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Just said it's Wednesday, Neil. Yeah, I know. Leave me alone. How was your Tuesday yesterday, guys? I will do a top 5 on TikTok very, very shortly. I'll let a few more come in and then we'll have a little natter and see what's going on. How was your Tuesday? Did you have a good Tuesday? Everything going to plan? I always say about laying that foundation for a good weight loss week. Good Monday, Tuesday. Everything, I'm not saying this happens week in, week out. But if you have a good Tuesday, everything else can kind of fall into like a good Monday, Tuesday. It sort of sets you up for the week ahead. I had a great Tuesday yesterday. Very, very nice indeed. Got my steps in, did my spin class. Also did half an hour of weights in the gym before my spin class. What else did I do yesterday? Calories absolutely on point. We've been averaging a couple of thousand calories a day for the last couple of days. So everything's going good. I've got nothing on this weekend. Keeping it nice and chill. Rachel is going shopping to the Trafford Centre. Last little bit of holiday shopping with her cousin who's coming on holiday with us. So that means I get a weekend, a Saturday to myself. What am I going to do on Saturday? Depends on the weather. If the weather's good, I'm going to have an afternoon jet washing. There you go. That's how exciting my life is. I absolutely love jet washing. I mean that. I do. I find it really, really therapeutic. I could do it for a living. I could quite easily do it for a living. I don't like gardening. Not into that. But yeah, jet washing. There you go. The real Lost Boss jet washing business. That might be getting set up. Anyway, there we go. As always, guys, this is a weight loss live. If you've got any weight loss questions whatsoever, get them in, and I will try my very best to answer them. Right, let's do the top 5 on TikTok this morning. We're going to say a quick hello to Beck, who's on YouTube. She's just jumped on and said hello. But let's do the top 5 on TikTok. KF, number 1. Kirsty B's in at number 2. Sheila's in at number 3. Michelle is in at number 4, and James is in at number 5. Good morning, James. I'm going to knock £5 off your next month's subscription because you just are an absolute delight giving me all these compliments. Thank you very much indeed. In fact, I think next month's subscription you get free anyway, don't you? Because where you came with the challenge. So I need to sort that out. Actually, by the way, guys, if you came in the top 7, I've paid 7 places out for the challenge. You are going to get a little bit of a bonus, a little reduction. If you didn't win one of the cash prizes, you are going to get a reduction in your subscriptions over the next couple of weeks, couple of months or whatever. James, good morning. Faye, good morning. Amy, good morning. Mama Bear, hi. Good morning to you. Callum, good morning. Jill, morning. Can you recommend a nice barbecue sauce and hot sauce? Oh, good. I love my sauces. I really, really do. All right. And, why do I love sauce? Because, look, when we're on a weight loss journey, we are trying to, basically, one of the best ways to reduce your calories is to take fat out of your diet. Right? Now, you shouldn't take it completely out. We still need fats. We need, and you can still eat some saturated fat. You can still eat, you should definitely be eating some healthier fats. But, we are going to take a good majority of fat out of our diet, right? So, and we're going to eat things that aren't the most flavorful in a way, because lower calorie foods, fat is flavor. just think about, like, you might not like, my favorite part of a chicken is the wing. I absolutely love chicken wings. I don't want them battered or anything like that. I just want a wing with the skin on, crispy, absolutely delicious. But they are rather calorific when you compare them to a skinless chicken breast, because the skinless chicken breast is extremely lean, very low in fat, but it's quite low in flavor. Think of a steak, I love a fillet steak, but compared to like a ribeye, it has a lot less flavor because it has a lot less fat. I use a lot of 5% fat minces, whether it's pork mince, whether it's beef mince, or whether it's chicken mince. And again, it's 5% fat. 5% fat beef mince does have a lot less flavor than 20% fat beef mince, but it has a lot less calories. So if we are eating like this, we need to jazz our food up, and sauces are a great way to do it. Now, obviously, we have two types of sauces that I categorize. We have fatty sauces and we have sugary sauces. And sugar obviously gets demonized a lot, but sugar is low calorie. It is 4 calories a gram, right? That is, and when you're when I say a sugary sauce, it's not pure sugar. Like a tablespoon of barbecue sauce is around 20 calories. So a tablespoon is 15 grams. Will have about 3 grams of sugar in it, right? Less than a teaspoon. But it is, I just split them up like that. Sugary based sauce, so ketchup, tomato sauce, things like that. A fat based sauce would be like a mayonnaise. Whereas a tablespoon of mayonnaise is 100 calories. So again, it is something we need to kind of watch what we are consuming. And things like barbecue sauces, hot sauces, they have a lot of seasoning. They've got a lot of flavor. That's something else to jazz your food up as well. Seasonings, garlic granules. Yeah, I've always got onion granules, onion powder, garlic granules, garlic powder, paprika. I always have those in my cupboard because adding things like that, stock cubes, OXO cubes, things like that, just it adds flavor to things for not very many calories. So anyway, a nice barbecue sauce. Baby Ray's is the best, right? It's absolutely unbelievable, but it isn't the cheapest, but it is absolutely amazing. I think it's called Baby Ray's. Sweet Baby Ray's, is it? Let me Google it before you start. What the hell are you on about, Neil? Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. It is absolutely. They do a standard barbecue sauce, and then they do a honey barbecue sauce. I can't show you on YouTube and Facebook, but that is the best barbecue sauce on the market. It's absolutely amazing. My second favorite barbecue sauce is actually Crucial's barbecue sauce, and that is a cheap one. You get it in like Iceland, have a decent Crucial's range. Some supermarkets might, but I tend to, you tend to get Crucial's in like B&M's, Home Bargains, Iceland, things like that. Great barbecue sauce. Really, really good barbecue sauce. In terms of hot sauce, again, B&M, Home Bargains, absolutely brilliant things like that. B&M do Pepperami. They do a green and a red Pepperami, like they call it a hot sauce. It is very similar to a barbecue sauce with a little bit of a kick. That is absolutely superb. If you want something like a hot sauce, I always go for Cholula. Cholula is my favorite hot sauce. It's like you've got Tabasco, you've got Cholula, you've got Frank's. Cholula for me is just the best sort of hot sauce, as it were. You only need a few drops on your rice or on something like that, and it'll just give everything a nice heat. Now, I love a mayonnaise-based sauce, and there are a good few. If you want a spicy mayonnaise-based sauce, McDonald's have done recently like a Frank's mayo range. You get it in Costco. I've had it for ages, right? It is absolutely amazing. Frank's spicy mayo. So a tablespoon of mayonnaise is 100 calories, right? About 100 calories. Some mayonnaises are more than that. A tablespoon of Frank's spicy mayo is 36. It's like 66% less calories. It's a third of the calories of of a full fat mayonnaise, and it's absolutely amazing, and it adds a right good heat if you like a bit of spice. So if you've got a Costco card, go get Frank's. They're doing a litre thing. It's absolutely amazing. Nando's lemon and black pepper Peronaise, again, is about 35, 36 calories a tablespoon. So there are quite a few, like what I would call fat-based sauces out there now that are really decent calorie control. So if you did something like, which I do very, very often, a tablespoon of barbecue and a tablespoon of Frank's spicy mayo for 50 calories, you are absolutely adding a heap of flavour, an absolute heap of flavour to a salad, to a wrap, to anything like that, you know? So get your sauce game on, kids. It really, really helps, you know? The Dragon Sriracha Chili Mayo Sauce is quite low calorie too, and Unreal Iceland, £2. Katrina, I've never had it. I will go and try it. I'm not actually a massive fan of Sriracha sauce. I do love hot sauce. I do love spicy things. I don't know why with Sriracha, but Sriracha Mayo is different. It's probably similar to the Frank's. Sriracha on its own, I'm not a massive... I don't know. It's ages since I've had it, but when I got it, and because it became really popular, yeah, I just wasn't a massive fan of it. Good morning, good morning, Maureen. Nando's lemon and black pepper is good as well. There we go. We've just said it. Yes, James, absolutely. It's a very good sauce. Stefan, good morning. Right, I'm having a scan through. Denise, good morning. Love Crucial's Thai sweet chili. Yeah, do you know what? My favourite Crucial's is chili and garlic, and they don't do it anymore. They don't do it anymore. I don't think they do. I'm going to have a look online, actually. Let me have a look. Crucial's chili and garlic. Also, Crucial's. So I have quite a lot. We have the reduced sugar and salt tomato ketchup. It is 10 calories. It is 10 calories per tablespoon. Amazing. 10 calories. Crucial's tomato sauce is the same. It has less sugar. It has the same amount of sugar in it. Same amount. I think it's the same amount of calories. Really, really good option. And obviously, it's a lot cheaper than Heinz. Yeah, so Crucial's chili and garlic sauce is 13 quid on eBay for one, because they don't make it anymore. You literally can't get... I'm honestly... I'm at that point where I'm going to write to him, say, where's your chili and garlic sauce gone? Because it was absolutely amazing. Right, we're going on Crucial's website. I'm just confirming that they don't do it anymore. Let's see. Let's click on their sources. Maybe they do it, and places just don't stock it. Flipping heck, I'm on their website. Who knew they did so many different sauces? But they do. But their barbecue sauce is very, very good. Their Korean style barbecue is also very, very good. They do a spicy mayo. I wonder what their calories are in their spicy mayo. Let's have a little. A little look. Calories per 100 mil, 285. So 285 divided by 6, 47. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not quite as good as the old Frank's, but it's not bad. Right, this is their tomato ketchup. So their tomato ketchup is 65 calories per 100 mil. So 65 divided by 6, it is 11 calories a portion. 11 calories, right? Really, really good. And if you compare that to Heinz, I'm not saying tomato sauce, it is a sugary based sauce, so it's not stupid calories anyway. Let's have a look at what Heinz tomato sauce is. I think Heinz is about 18. It's nothing major, right? You're not saving loads, but if you like a good splodge of ketchup, you know, and it's flipping heck, I've just clicked on the Heinz website. How good does this burger look? Can everyone tell I'm a bit hungry this morning? That burger looks absolutely unreal. How good does that look? Heinz, are you actually bringing them burgers out? Probably not. Anyway, there we go. Right. Have we done Saucegate now? TK Maxx do 0 calorie syrups for coffee. They are absolutely lovely. Yeah. Zero, again, home bargains. They do all like different types of skinny syrups and stuff like that. I don't know if certain skinny syrups are better than other. I call them skinny syrups. I don't just mean the skinny company. But yeah, there's loads of 0 calorie sort of flavorings out there. You know, and again, adds loads of flavour without adding the calories. I can't do anything other than the normal height. Why can't you? Come on. Rachel used to be like that. And I blind tested it. Well, I didn't. I tricked her once. So she was always Heinz. Can't go anything other than Heinz, right? So, and we do have the Heinz reduced sugar, and that was the first thing I did. So, and she was like, I don't want the reduced sugar one. I don't like it. Anyway, at one point, I bought the reduced sugar one. When the normal one emptied, I filled it up with the reduced sugar one. We carried on using it. She didn't say anything. Didn't have a flipping clue. We convince ourselves we don't like these things. I've done it for years, right? So I switched it, yeah. And then I did. Aldi actually do their own sugar-free Heinz, and again, I swapped sugar-free ketchup sort of thing, and I swapped it out. And again, she didn't know. So I think a lot of the time we just convince ourselves that we are, we just love main brands. Don't get me wrong, certain things main brand are better, right? And we do like the Heinz reduced sugar salt ketchup. I do think it's thicker than the Crucials one, right? But yeah, I think sometimes we just convince ourselves, honestly. Now, obviously, if you live on your own or you haven't got someone to trick you, as it were, but sometimes it's worth just doing a blind taste test just to convince yourself. You need a second mortgage to buy Heinz. Do you know what? Everything's just gone a lot more expensive, hasn't it? Everything has just gone a lot more expensive. But in terms of, what we tend to do is whenever we go to the supermarket, like Tesco, and Heinz is on offer, because it's normally about $3.40 for a standard reduced sugar salt ketchup. And every now and then Club Card, it's £2. When it's on £2, we just buy 5 of them. We just stock up on them because it is flipping expensive. Lise, good morning. Neil, I bought some new jeans yesterday and get my sizes and few sizes down from when I lose it. I'm brilliant. Honestly, I think clothes are the best non-scale victory. I genuinely think they are. I think it's something that, especially if you've suffered with your weight. So when we suffer with our weight, like, I'm not saying everyone's into their clothes or into fashion or anything like that, but when we suffer with our weight, we do see ourselves in a different light, don't we, in the mirror? And whether we're into brands or into labels or just normal, just like going and buying stuff from Tesco or whatever, I think when we have a weight issue, clothes is a really common thing, like, that people struggle with, how they perceive themselves in a mirror, going for a night out. It was something I always hated, absolutely hated. Like, even when companies like Giacomo and that come out, and they actually did some more what we would call fashionable type clothes and stuff like that, I just used to hate myself in the mirror. I hated clothes, and I think when we lose weight, and we do have this thing, don't we, like with certain sizes and this, that, and the other, but I think when we lose weight and we look better, we feel better, we go down a size in clothes, it does. It makes us feel better about ourselves. Now, I'm a big lad, right? I always will be, even when I'm, when I've been at my skinniest. I'm just a big guy. I've got broad shoulders. I'm 6'5" tall. I'm just as wide as a house. I'm just a big guy, and I gained a few stone back. End of 21, 22, going into 23, and I did notice clothes fitted me so much different, and certain brands that I used to like stopped fitting me. Certain tops that I like wearing, like performance tops, if you know what I mean. So like Under Armour do a range, North Face do a range, and they're basically like polyester, but they're really good for training in because they wick sweat away. They're very cool when you wear them, but and for 18 months or so, I've not been really able to wear them because they are quite grippy. They don't really stretch out, and I've just not felt comfortable in them, even though I like to wear them. and that's getting like and don't get me wrong, Under Armour do up to like and they I normally find with tops like that they're a size down really. So if you're an XL, you'd probably wear a 2XL. If you're a 2XL, you'd want to wear a 3XL. And Under Armour and that they do a 3XL in them, but for me they just didn't fit right at that size. Anyway, this year since losing my weight, I've sort of managed to lose it. You know, I've lost a couple of stone this year. I'm back in those tops, and I really like them. And it's like it's just a good non-scale victory. It just is a good non-scale victory. And you know, I've always been able, since losing my weight, been able to go to JD, go to wherever and buy some tops. But yeah, certain brands or certain types of clothing in certain brands, yeah, we're struggling to get into a little bit. I don't mind admitting that. Whereas now we've been shopping recently, and every shop that I've been to, everything fits me. Right, so it is non-scale victory is really, really good. In fact, we went to Next on Sunday, and I just wanted a couple of nice polos for a holiday. Like I've got out of buying loads of different brands and stuff like that. I always used to get, you get your Lacoste polos and something like 80, 90 quid a pop now. Hugo Boss over £100. I'm like, I'm just done with paying that sort of money, especially when you just wear it a couple of times a year on holiday. So I went to Next, and I went to Next actually last October when we went to Benidorm, and I was a few pounds down. And their 3XL stuff was too big for me, but their 2XL stuff was slightly too small, wasn't comfortable. Anyway, we went on Sunday, and some of their 2XL stuff was too big for me. So I bought a really nice polo shirt in a 2XL, which is more of a slim fit. And then in a regular fit, I've got a nice overshirt, like a linen shirt, in an XL. So yeah, clothes are a really good. I think just the best non-scale victory at times. Don't get on, there's loads of good non-scale victories. Tina, good morning. Paul, good morning over on Facebook. Apologies, I've only just seen you guys. Oh, you only popped on a few 5-10 minutes ago. Good morning. Just me sat here waffling on. But brilliant, James, love that. You are the only relatable person I've seen as a coach, and that's very kind of you to say. And you know, I'll always. Oh, I think I've just sent someone an invitation by accident. Please ignore it. Just because I tapped my phone. And you know what? I will always try and be as honest with you guys as I can be. Because, you know, and don't get me wrong, sometimes I find it hard. Because sometimes in my own mind, I'm like, no, I should be the perfect example. And I always try to be. I always try and set the bar high for myself to give you inspiration and motivation. But it doesn't mean I've not had my struggles. It doesn't mean I won't have my struggles in the future, because I'm still on the same journey that you're on. I always say this. I'm just in a slightly different position, you know? And I'll always be on this journey. I never won't be off it, you know? And I think there's a lot of people find that quite daunting, quite overwhelming to think like that. But the honest truth is, if I never want to go back to being 37 stone, I have got to keep at it. Right, whether that's controlling my calories for weight maintenance, whether it's controlling my calories for weight loss, you know, I've got to stay at it. Right. I do love your lives too. You are so. Oh, thank you very much, life friend. Very, very kind to say. I'm a size 36 in pants, almost faded. Excellent, James. You are 2 inches. I wear 38-inch jeans, so you're 2 inches down from me. I've always worn 38. Even when I was at my lightest, which is about 1.5 stone down from where I am now, because I have got massive hips. My hips do not lie, I'm telling you that. Yeah, my hips do not lie. I've got really big hips. I have got really wide hips for a male. And that's kind of down to my own body shape, but also you'll tend to, because I've been so obese all my life as I've grown up, your bones do strengthen and grow to support. And because my upper body has been so heavy, my hips have grown to support that weight. And your bone density, your bone will increase. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say, you know, people always just say, I'm not fat, I'm just big boned. Right? People that have a severe weight issue, people that have any weight issue are big boned. right? Our bone density, someone that's 30 stone, their bone density will be heavier and thicker than someone that is 12 stone. Why? Because our body adapts to support us. So if we're, if we're 37 stone like I was, standard skeletal bones, a standard skeletal structure ain't going to support that, right? And the body will adapt and grow. Bones have blood flow to them. Anything that has blood flow to it can adapt and grow and strengthen. And that's why legs heal after you break them, right? If you damage your cartilage in your knee, it really doesn't heal that good because it has very limited blood flow. Bones, muscles, you tear a muscle, you snap a bone, they will heal because they have blood flow. They'll also get bigger and stronger. So, the old adage, I'm not fat, I am big boned. I am big boned, right? I've been morbidly obese for 25 years of my life. And I've been morbidly obese from being a young kid growing up. So yeah, and my hips are absolutely huge. So yeah, even when I've been really quite lean, I've always worn a 38-inch waist jean because I've got a big equator around the old hips, Also found with ADHD, I found I have to reduce my carbs to reduce carbs to reduce brain fog. See, I'm totally the opposite with that. Like, if I don't have carbs, I get brain fog because carbs is our main energy for the brain. So, but it is different strokes for different folks. It really, really is. I'm not saying I have ADHD. I don't know. Rachel says I have, but I've never been officially diagnosed with it. Jilly on Facebook really loves to send essays in your comment. That was crazy. I couldn't even read it. I clicked on it and I was like, what on earth is she going on about? Because I was like, I just can't even. And the gist of it will be, I know that I've not even read any of it. The gist of it will be, you've put a processed food on. Why don't you use balance or something like that, or just eat whole foods? I think people just ignore the fact that I post salads and fruit and veggies, and there's nearly 40 meals on my YouTube channel that I promote all the time on my Facebook page that are kind of, a lot of them are cooked from scratch. I think people are just, I say this all the time, a lot of people only see what they want to see. They're blinded. They get blinded. Is the saying blinded by the light? I don't know if that works here, but people see one thing and just make a massive overall assumption. People make. So I always do this. I get about 1 million notifications. I sent the Zoom link out for 8 p.m. tonight, and I've had about 40 notifications. Such and such has joined your Zoom. It's tonight. Don't get wrong. I don't mind you joining it, and the link will still work if you join it. But this is why I used to have the registration for the Zoom, because I didn't get a million pings when people joined when it wasn't on. But guys, the Zoom, if you have joined the Zoom link, the Zoom is tonight at 8 p.m. It isn't today. Don't get wrong, you can actually join the Zoom and just leave it running until I start it later on tonight. But this woman literally just, she mustn't have anything better to do, bless her. But she literally just, as soon as I saw the first paragraph and then she had it, I was like, I'm not reading my way through that. But yeah, a lot of people just see what they want to see. I was just like, wow. And I assume from a lot of the comments that people have actually commented back to her, she was just talking absolute gibberish like most people tend to do. She's probably not used any context, any balance herself, looked at my actual content. There we go. But anyway, there was some serious. You ought to be sharing more clean eating. I always say when people say, I don't really like the term clean eating. Like, what do you clean eating? Like, what you want me to wash me? You want me to take me food in the shower before eating it? And I know the association with clean eating is eating your whole foods and your this, that, and the other. And I'm like I say, I post loads of fruit, loads of veggies, loads of salads, but I also post balance and context. And, I think what a lot of people fail to understand is, people just, let's look at ultra processed foods, right? There are different, ultra processed foods is a food source that's been through a lot of process, right? And you can judge it in any way you want to. You can judge it whether it's got a lot of ingredients added to it. You can judge it whether it's just something that's been through a million different processes and not had loads of ingredients added to it. It's just from where it started to where it is now. It's just been through loads of processes. There's a lot of demonization around ultra processed foods, and I get tagged all the time. If you read the book Ultra Processed People by Xander Van Tulleken, I've read that book, right? And there's absolutely no scientific. It is a propaganda book, like a lot of books are, right? And there's no official scientific studies in there. There's no controlled peer-reviewed studies in there. There's no proper meta-analysis. It is just taking a bunch of people and feeding them a load of crap and saying that the health markers reduce. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, it's literally like, well, what are you expecting, right? But people then, but then now we've got people in supermarkets that are jumping on the bandwagon. This is bad for us. This is bad for us. If it's got more than 2 ingredients, it's bad for us. And people's relationships with food is just getting worse and worse and worse because of it. So you can take a protein shake, right? And let's take Aldi's Cowbell protein shakes that they do. That protein shake, if you look at the ingredients, is 95% milk. That's all it is 95%. So 95% of it is a whole food. 5% of it, yes. Does it have some emulsifiers in it? Yeah, because we do eat with our eyes at times and we don't want things to be separated. And, it does say on it, make sure you shake well, but there are some emulsifiers in there. Trace elements. There are some thickeners in there as well. Trace elements. The thickener in there, I think it's either guar gum or carrageenan, right? Guar gum and carrageenan are just insoluble fiber extracted from plants. Well, carrageenan is from seaweed, right? Guar gum is just from plants, right? It's actually a natural thing that is added into it, and it acts as a natural thickener natural thickener and emulsifier, right? And it's just absolutely, what we need to understand is if you're consuming something that has a few natural elements added to them to thicken things up, it doesn't make it unhealthy. And I always say this saying, there's no such thing as an unhealthy food. Some lady commented yesterday, and I put like the Neapolitan ice creams on from Aldi, and she was like, I don't know why you're promoting unhealthy foods. It's like, there's no such thing as an unhealthy food. And she was like, no, that's an unhealthy food. I was like, no, it isn't. You're telling me that if the majority of my, 80% of my diet is fruit, veg, lean protein, low fat dairy, good fats, and the occasional, Neapolitan ice cream for 102 calories, it's 45 grams from Aldi, that is going to counterbalance all that. It just doesn't work like that. And that's the thing. People are very black and white. They don't understand. It's not, they don't understand context. They don't understand balance, right? And at the end of the day, the most unhealthiest anyone can be is fat, overweight, right? Especially if you're obese, morbidly obese. However you reduce your weight, whether it's eating nothing but ultra processed foods, it will improve all your health markers. I'm not saying you will be the healthiest, right? But it will improve all your health markers. And that is my target audience. Yes, I work with clients that aren't obese. I work with clients that actually aren't overweight, right? But the majority of my clients do have more severe weight issues, and that is my target audience. I'm not going to, not work with someone just because they're not fat enough. Right? It doesn't quite work like that. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone does come on board with me, and I'm generally like, and I've done this with 2 clients through the whole time I've been online. I've done this with 2 clients where I've literally said, "You're not my target." Right, and I had one girl that come on board she was 5'7", she weighed 8 stone, and she wanted to lose a stone in weight. And I'm like, and when I take on clients that, and I don't agree fully with the BMI scale, right? You have to take it again with quite a big pinch of salt. But if I take on a client that, for me personally, I might be like, you've not really got a weight issue. But I will do a quick check on the BMI scale because it is our registered, like, whether I agree with it or not, it is our registered sort of thing to say, whether people are a healthy weight or not. And if someone comes on board with me and they might be 5'5" and 10 stone, and I'm like, for me personally, I don't think you need to lose any weight. Doesn't mean you couldn't improve your overall diet. Doesn't mean you couldn't improve your body composition. But I don't think weight loss is what's necessarily needed. But I'll have a quick check on the BMI scale, and I will help them get down to a point where the BMI, generally I go top end. So let's say someone 5'5" comes on that's 10 stone and the BMI scale says their top end healthy weight is 9 stone 7. I'll help them get to that point. And once they get to that point, if they would then want to push it any further, I'll let them go. I'll say, right, I've done my job. I've got you into what the BMI class is, a healthy range for your height, for your age, and this, that, and the other. I personally don't feel you need to lose any more weight. I'll help you maintain those losses, right? If that's what you'd like me to do, but I'm going to take you out of a calorie deficit, right? And I do have clients that do that. I've got about 4 or 5 clients now that are a healthy weight, and they're just working on. They just don't want to go backwards. They don't want to regress, so they want to keep checking in with me, stay accountable, and just work on maintaining. But anyway, in terms of like foods and diet, what a lot of people don't understand now is, there are different ranges of ultra processed foods, and everyone's just like, it's ultra processed food, it's bad for you. If you're labeling a protein yogurt or a protein shake the same as a Rustler's burger, right, then your mind's blown, right? Because it just isn't. Can you get nutritionally dense ultra processed foods? Yeah, right. If you get a protein shake that's 200 calories that is low in added sugar, so it has 0 added sugar, it's just got natural sugars in there. It's got 20 grams of protein in there, and a lot of people in the UK are protein deficient. Also, protein will help, satiate you to help you control your calories, right? Is that detrimental to health? No. Again, the only thing that makes something detrimental is overconsumption. Now, it's a lot easier to overconsume Neapolitan ice cream and Rustler's burgers to a point where it could be detrimental to our health compared to like apples, right? But overall, they can be built in to a healthy, sustainable diet. They can. They really, really can. And, we've got to stop this black and white attitude about eating, because it is just a really unhealthy relationship with food. It's just going to drive food guilt. There's, all these people that demonize sugar and say it's from the devil. They will eat sugar. So how do they feel when they have any type of sugar? How do they feel when it's their kid's birthday and they're going to have a slice of their birthday cake? Yeah. A slice of birthday cake. Do they sit there regretting this slither of birthday cake because it has some sugar in it? Or do they sit there and go, do you know what? The RDA for sugar a day is 90 grams, right? And some days I have 120 grams of sugar. Some days I have 40 grams of sugar. But overall, in my diet, I don't overconsume sugar, right? And so having the odd piece of cake here and there isn't an issue. And that's how you should think about it, right? It really is that simple. Nothing is bad for us as long as we eat it in the quantities that we should be eating it in. Nothing is bad for us. Not a chocolate bar, not a biscuit, not a bag of crisps, not an apple, not a carrot, not broccoli, not a Neapolitan ice cream, not a protein yogurt from Aldi, right? It is not bad for us, right? We also need to use some context as well to where are people coming from? If people for years and years and years have been eating Frosties for breakfast, crunching up cornflakes, Mackey's breakfast on the road, this, that, and the other, that is their diet, and they stop doing that and then but start having a protein pancake with some protein yogurt on it and some strawberries and a drizzle of honey, and they can actually be consistent eating that because it's a bit of balance. It's a pancake, it's a bit of yogurt, it's a bit of honey for sweetness, right? That is miles better than what they've been doing, right? Now, don't get me wrong, eating 3 scrambled eggs and a cup of blueberries, right, might be more healthier than your protein. But again, we've also then got to say, how well are people going to adhere to a certain diet if it is so restrictive and so plain and so boring? Probably not. And again, this is where all these experts come on Facebook that have never worked with hundreds of clients, that have never had weight issues. That and the funny thing is, I always say this: there's two common trends with people that demonize food on Facebook. Number one, they look miserable. First thing I do is look at their profile picture, and it's either some lad in the gym, and I mean this like not to be sexist, but a lot of lads that do this are in a gym and they're like this in the gym, like you look like a right prat, mate, and you look flipping miserable as it. And everything, it's like it's not cool to smile, right? You're miserable. You look miserable, right? And and again, same with females. To be honest with you, there's some females that do it. But these common trends are, they look miserable, and number two, they all drink alcohol, which is the worst thing we can put into our bodies. I drink alcohol, by the way. I'm not slagging, but alcohol is worse than anything. Right? This woman the other day, absolutely slagging off something I can't remember that I posted. And I literally clicked on her profile pictures because I do that sometimes. It's like, who is this person that's real? When they really go in, right? I clicked on her profile picture and it was like April 24, change profile picture. Great big glass of wine, right? March 23, profile picture, flipping, porn star martini, such and such glass of wine, glass of Prosecco, like that, February, one in January. So you don't even, so basically, you're an absolute piss can, right? Yeah, having a chicken char grill from Aldi is the devil incarnate. It's just crazy. Right, let me scan down. Someone subscribed to your TikTok when they wanted your community. Do not subscribe to my TikTok. I can't turn it off. I'm not in control of it. And I can't cancel it. I've had a few people do that. If you want to join my community, you need to click my link tree. Do not click the subscription thing in TikTok. You can't turn it off. You can't, and I'm not in control of it. That is just TikTok. And it's so I'm really, really sorry. You'll have to go into your own settings and cancel it. And then if anyone wants to join my community, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or in on my TikTok, you've got to click my link tree and then go to my website and join the community. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If you do subscribe to my TikTok, whatever you pay TikTok for my subscription, I get half of it. So thank you very much. It is a little support for me, but that is not access to my community. And like I say, I am not in control of it. I've got it. I can set the price of it, and I've got it set about as cheap as I can set it, which I think is about $5.99 or something like that. So what do I click onto his community? So you've got to click on my link tree, right? So click on my link tree, and you're on to. I'll show you now. I can't show you guys on Facebook or YouTube because I can't spin the camera around. Well, I probably could show you on my phone, but if I go into my profile, so this is my TikTok profile. You've got to click on my link tree. Right, so when you click on my link tree there, that'll bring my link tree. And there's a shop in my link tree now, and it says there, Boss Your Weight Loss Community. So you've got my one-to-one plan, or you've got my community. Click on the community, click on the shop, click on the community, and this is what you want to do, right? And like I say, first month is just £5 if you use code WELCOME. So my community is £9.99 a month, but your first month is a £5 using code WELCOME. There's no contract. You can cancel anytime. But if you have subscribed to TikTok, you'll have to go in yourself and cancel it. I get people messaging me. I had one girl, and I felt so, and I was like, I can't do it. If I could go in and cancel your subscription, but I can't. I am not in control of TikTok, I'm afraid. Right. Weetabix is processed, but it's classed as an exception. Weetabix is processed. So shredded wheat, right? So's Rice Krispies. They're all great they're all very low in, they've got no added sugar, they've got a good bit of fibre. Well, maybe not Rice Krispies, but certainly shredded wheat and Weetabix, all brand. Yeah, they have a little bit, fruit and nut, have a little bit of added sugar, but they've got a lot of fibre in them and they taste good. If you do fancy a bit of breakfast cereal, they're not a bad option. Now, I'm not saying you should eat breakfast cereal every single day, Not if you're trying to, because they do digest quite quickly. They do, you will feel hungrier by not having a good amount of protein. Um, but you know, um, yeah, Weetabix is a great option. I love Weetabix. How much is your one-to-one? One-to-one is $29.99 to sign up. So it's a one-off payment of $29.99. That is your sign-up fee. That covers it, gets you straight into the community, gets your plan, gets your ebook, and then it's $29.99 a month for a minimum 3 months. There's no contract in the community. You can cancel whenever you want. In the community, in the one-to-one, I just asked for 3 months commitment. So basically, anyone that signs up to my one-to-one plan now, I've got 2 start dates, and then I'm taking a bit of a break, right? So you can start, if you sign up before tonight, you can start on Monday. If you sign up before a week tomorrow, I can start you a week on Monday, which is the 23rd of June. After that, the 30th of June, 7th of July, no start dates. My next start date after that will be mid-July. So if you want to get going now, get signed up. It's $29.99 to sign up. That's all you'll pay today. And then your subscription, I will start at the end of the month. All right. So you can start on the 16th of June, right? But I will start your first subscription payment on the last day of June, right? So on the 30th of June, you'll pay $29.99. On the 30th of July, you'll pay $29.99. And on the 30th of August, you'll pay $29.99. And that is your commitment to the one-to-one plan done. Now, if after August you want to stay on plan with me, you can stay on plan with me for the next 5 years if you want to, but it changes from it just changes to a rolling contract. You can cancel it whenever you want. So you might do you do June, July, August payments. That's your minimum term covered. And then you might be like, yeah, I want to run up to Christmas, Neil. Fine. September, October, November. And then if you want to cancel at the end of November for Christmas, fine. No, you can cancel whenever you want. I just asked for 3 months commitment. So it's $29.99 to sign up. And then it'll be $29.99. So anyone that starts on Monday, you sign up now, you start on Monday or a week on Monday, you pay $29.99 up front, and then $29.99 end of June, end of July, end of August, and then it's just a rolling contract. It's $29.99 continuous, but you can cancel it whenever you want after August. Yeah. That's amazing. Another person wanted £100 a month. Yeah, absolutely. It's always been my philosophy when I started doing online coaching to make it accessible to everyone. Now, I'm not saying $29.99 to certain people isn't a good amount of money, but in all honesty, if you've got a weight issue, you can afford $29.99 a month for online coaching. And I mean that because I've been overweight and I know how much it costs to be overweight, right? Even eating poor, cheap food, you're still eating more than you should be doing, right? And you genuinely will. I used to spend, and I'm talking 11 years ago, I used to spend £800 a month on food, not in a supermarket. This is where a lot of people go wrong, right? So eating healthier, I always talk about this. Eating healthier, right, isn't cheap, right? So fruit, veg, protein, I'm not saying it's cheap, right? But your food spend is not what you spend in a supermarket. Your food spend is what you spend on anything that goes in here. Go through your bank account, right? Everything you spend in a supermarket, everything you spend in your corner shop, everything you spend going out grabbing lunches here and there, everything you spend Starbucks, Costa, Cafe Nero, everything you spend on Just Eat, Deliveroo, all this, that, and the other, add it all up, right? That is your monthly food spend, right? So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have a Starbucks on plan with me. Of course you can. I'm not saying you can't have a takeaway. Of course you can. It's something that I, balance, sustainability of plan is still enjoying some of the things we love. But I guarantee you'll cut down, right? So I used to spend, when I started my weight loss journey, or before I started my food spend was like £200 a week. This is in 2014, 2013. I used to spend about 50 quid a week in a supermarket, right? You spend about £150 a week eating out, fish and chips here and there, butty shops, Mackey's breakfasts, takeaways. When I went and did my first food shop on my weight loss journey, it was like £100. And I'm like, Christ, I've doubled my food bill. But I went, it's all right. Yes, you doubled your food bill, but it's for a good cause. You're going to lose weight. at the end of the month, I am like, I've got all this money left over. What's going on? Because I went from spending £50 a week in a supermarket to spending 100 because fruit, veg is more expensive than all the crap I was buying, right? So, 100. But I then went from spending £600 a month on eating out and all this, that, and the other to spending £150 a month. So I went from spending £800 a month to £550 on food, right? From doing weight loss. So more in a supermarket, yes, but outside of a supermarket, a lot less, right? And I guarantee, you'll save you $29.99, right? It'll pay for itself. Yeah. Some online coaches are more than £100. One messaged me to offer it for $2,500, and honestly, I've got a couple of mates that are online coaches, and they literally, other than giving their client a new direct gym plan once a month, that's all they do. They give them a gym plan once a month. Other than that, it's check-ins like I do, logging the weight, little tweaks, little bits of advice, and they're all $250 a month. They're all £250 a month. They think I'm absolutely mental charging £30 a month, but it's always been a philosophy of mine. I want to make it accessible for everybody. I want to make it accessible for everybody. I never want, money to be where someone can't get help with their weight issue. And I've kind of always run it in line with Slimming World, basically. Now, I'm not a big conglomerate. I'm not Slimming World. I've not got, revenue coming in left, right, and centre, a volume sort of thing. But I do try and build on the volume thing. Whereas my mates that charge £250 a month work with 20 people, right? I don't. I work with hundreds of people. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't got hundreds of people paying me $29.99 a month. I've got about 150 that are on my one-to-one. Some people pay yearly, some people pay monthly. You can pay yearly for my one-to-one, by the way. If you do not want a monthly direct debit going out, £325, one-off payment, and you are sorted. So you took £325 in now, and I will coach you till the end of next June, right? You'll get 12 and a half months, right? One-off payment, no money going out, and you'll get fortnightly check-ins, access to me directly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you need me through WhatsApp. For £325, one-off payment. Bang. So you can sign up to that for it. So it's $29.99 a month, which with sign up is £390 if you were to do a year. Or you can pay £325 if you're like, yeah, I'm going to need a year's coaching. I want the accountability. I want the support for 12 months. £324.99, one-off payment up front. Bang. Yeah. So yeah, it's always been a philosophy of mine to keep it cost effective. Don't get me wrong, I could charge £100 a month, right, for what I offer. And instead of working with 150 people one-to-one, I might work with 50. I'd have a lot less work to do. But again, it's not, I do have things set up, I think, pretty decent, and I'm more than happy. I also want to tell you guys as well, whatever you pay when you do subscribe to me, you'll never pay any more. You'll never pay any more, right? So if you currently subscribe now and you're paying $29.99 a month and you're still with me in 3 years, you'll pay $29.99 a month, even if my prices go up. Yeah. Same with anyone that signs up to one-to-one. So if you sign up to my one-to-one, it's £325, right? If in a year's time you're like, can I do another year? I'll do it cheaper for you. I'll not, because I don't need to set your plan up and this, that, and the other. I'll do it a bit cheaper for you, So yeah, come get on board if you want to get on board, and I'll do my best to help you. I really, really will. Do you have some top tips for first-time gym goers, both me and Liam? Yeah, right. So if you want to go to a gym, right, and starting a gym, this would be my top tips, right? First of all, do things that you enjoy doing. Don't do things that you know how to do. All right, this is where a lot of people go wrong. Most people know how to turn a treadmill on, know how to turn an exercise bike on, and they just gravitate to that because it's easy. I don't mean it's easy to do the workout. I just mean it doesn't take much thought process, right? But it's quite boring doing cardio, right? So do things in a gym that you enjoy doing. And I love lifting weights. And I'm not saying everyone loves lifting weights. When I was a one-to-one personal trainer, I had people coming to me and I'd say, right, we lift weights. And they'd be like, seeing their face, they're like, oh, I'm not really, I don't want to be a weightlifter. And I get this from a lot of females, oh, I don't want to be turned manly. I'm like, you won't, right? And all my clients loved it. Loved it. I turned so many people, because if you lift weights in the right way, you will love it. Honestly, it's one of the most enjoyable ways to exercise in the gym. It's amazing. And also seeing your body change over time. It's similar to, it's a great non-scale victory in a way, right? Because you put a bit of muscle, your physique changes, your posture changes. It's just amazing. But obviously, like anything, if you've never been to a gym before, right? How do you go and lift weights? And I think that there's certain things that we do where we just assume everyone should know how to do them. No, they shouldn't. So when you join a gym, you will get a gym induction. Make the most of it. Ask questions. Try and take it in. Now, I'll be honest with you, it will go in this ear and come out the other ear, right? And I would generally, if you're serious about this journey, and this isn't for weight loss, this is lifting weights, health, fitness, this, that, and the other, I would invest in a personal trainer. I really, really would. You don't need to do it permanently, right? But I would really, join your gym. You might do your cardio for a bit because you know what you're doing. You might do your inductions. Have a little look around, right? And there'll be a personal trainer that you'll like the look of, someone that you might gravitate to. It might be, it might be because they're female, it might be because they're male, it might be because they don't quite look like a personal trainer. I used to do really well on that, right? When I became a PT, I was like, who's going to want to, and I had this mindset, who's going to want to work with me? Because I do not look like a PT, right? I've not got a six pack. Yeah, I do eat cheesecake, and it actually had the opposite effect. I literally filled my diary within, well, when I first started PT, and I was part-time, and I literally filled my part-time diary up within a week or two. When I moved to being full-time in January 2019, I was very nervous. I gave up my full-time job. First time I'd ever run my own business. And again, I just within a couple of weeks was absolutely full. And that never changed. Right? I was very, very lucky as a personal trainer. And there were personal trainers in there. And you could see, they'd look at me. They would stare at me. Like, how is he so busy? He's only been a personal trainer and he's got, he's still a bit overweight and he's still got a lot of loose skin and he's this and he's that and the other. And it just worked. But I would generally use a personal trainer. Now, if finances is a boundary, or you're like, oh, I don't really feel I need a personal trainer, I've been to a gym before, I do know a little bit, then just get some workouts. There's ones on my website. I'm not saying you have to buy my website. Have a look on YouTube if you want to. But I have some basic workouts on my website. Very straightforward to follow. Workout 1 and 2 is a great start for the gym. It's workout 1's more of a free weight, so using dumbbells. Workout 2 is more resistance machines. And there's little videos in there that shows me on the machine, so whether it's doing a shoulder press or a seated row or a chest press or a bicep curl or whatever, or a tricep push down. And it'll just give you a bit of guidance. And, that would be, but if you get a PT and be honest with that personal trainer, and if they don't, personal training is about training someone in a way they want to be trained. It's not about training someone in a way that you feel. This is what I learned as a PT. You see so many PTs in the gym and the clients just do the same workout day in, day out. I couldn't be like that because I'd have clients that were over 30 stone. I would then have clients that were 11 stone, and they're all different people. So they needed to be trained in different ways. And that is something else I prided myself on. Not everyone did the same workout day in, day out thingy. But, and I take on board what my client, what do you want? Well, I want to learn how to deadlift, and that's what I taught them, right? That's what personal training is. It's not about just flogging someone for an hour. It's about teaching them what they want to know. So say to a personal trainer, I want to learn how to lift weights in the gym. I want to put some routines together. And I'm just going to have 6 sessions. And I want you to sort of, teach me the basics, make sure my form's right. So, and then create a couple of plans for me to follow. And a good personal trainer should do that for you, So yeah, that's what I'd go for. I went for a gym walk round and the PT said cardio, no, made strength training. I'm a runner. I didn't join them. Right. So the PT said no. let me say that again, Kazza. So you went for a gym walk around, right? And the PT said, uh, uh, did he say no cardio? You need to do strength training. You're a runner. I didn't join them. Yeah, exactly. So, like I say, you've got to do what you enjoy in a gym. Now, like I say, I love lifting weights, and I would get some people that would come to me and go, but they've never been to a gym before. And do you know what? If you are a runner and that's your thing, then but if I was a runner, I wouldn't go to a gym really. Don't get me wrong, you might want to strengthen legs a little bit and stuff like that. But again, that's your resistance training. You know, I'm a big. I have a big saying when it comes to don't do in a gym what you can do outside. I mean that. I genuinely mean that. I see people walking for hours on treadmills in the gym, and Rach does it. And don't get me wrong, Rach does it. And she reads a Kindle and this, that, and the other. And she's like, well, I can't read my Kindle while I'm walking outside. And I was like, no, I get that. So there are maybe some exceptions, but I just see so many people that just go on a treadmill with their headphones in and they're just like that. And I'm just like, do that outside. Go and do it in the fresh air. Go and do it, don't be paying £60 a month or whatever you're paying for your gym membership to do that. But again, I'm not saying my philosophies are right. Sorry, the PT said I needed card. Right. Okay. Yeah, I get, and it's like when I first started in a gym, one of my friends, he wasn't a PT or anything like that. He was like, "You need to do cardio until you lose your weight," right? And it stuck with me. And I got it in my head. He was like, "You need to do cardio until you lose your weight. Once you lose your weight, then do weights to tone up." And again, he'd been going to a gym for years. So you just kind of take on board what they say. Oh, well, he knows more than me. He must know what he's talking about. And 4 weeks into my journey of being in the gym, I was bored out of my mind just sitting on an exercise bike. And me being me, I went, well, do you know what? I'm actually going to go and lift some weights now. So I did. And I loved it. And it was the best thing I ever did. So, yeah, if your PT say, dude, just do cardio, like, right, well, I'll go and, you're a runner. Yeah, well, I'll just go and run outside then. I won't join your gym. Yeah. Cereal doesn't fill me up. I have a yogurt bowl or eggs, bacon, chorizo, sourdough. So, yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I love a bowl of cereal. I absolutely love a bowl of cereal. Certain cereals aren't bad. Weetabix, shredded wheat, quite a lot of fibre in there. All brand stuff like that, a lot of fibre in there. Fibre is satiating. It does fill us up. But it doesn't fill me up as much as having like a yogurt bowl. No, it doesn't, What's Connie's 9:36? This live has absolutely disappeared. Guys, if I've not answered your question, please don't take it personally. Leah wants to lift weights. I know I need to lift weights. Get in that gym and lift weights. And Liam will be, he's a young lad. Testosterone will be flowing through his body. He's a big lad as well. He'll be ace at lifting weights. He'll be a very strong chap. Thank you for everything today. I followed. We'll come back after payday. Not a problem at all. People think the more they pay, they are getting something better. Yeah, absolutely. I think I lose clients because of my price point. I do. I generally think that. And don't get me wrong, in certain circumstances, you do get what you pay for. And in certain circumstances, you don't. There are some I'm trying to think of certain things like where, it's not worth the extra. It's not worth the extra. Well, to be fair, like I was saying then I went to Next on Sunday and I bought an amazing polo shirt and I bought a really nice top and both of them cost me about 50 quid. And I'm literally like, the quality is amazing. And over the years, I have been stupid with clothes. I'm telling you now, like I have spent some ridiculous amounts of money on certain t-shirts, hoodies, tops, got wrapped up into it a little bit. And, and the quality is no different. The quality is no different. Like I spent hundreds of pounds on t-shirts and the quality is no different sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you might go to Primarni and get the odd t-shirt that's a fiver and it shrinks after you wash it first time. You just wear it on holiday and chuck it in the bin. So there is a bit of that. But yeah, a lot of people, I definitely have lost. I think a lot of people think the more they pay, the more they're going to get. And it just doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. It really doesn't work like that. I don't think there's many coaches out there that dedicate, like, you know, yes, it's for my community and stuff, but I do at least 3 hours a week of lives just for my community, where people can come and talk to me directly. So even if you're just in my community and you pay $9.99 a month, you can come and get coaching from me. You can come. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to put the effort in to come on a live and ask me a question, and you can do it in a chat box. You don't need to do it like we do a Zoom, but I offer Zooms, right? And you can, once a week, we do a Zoom on a Wednesday. Anyone, whether you're in the community or can come and talk to me directly. So for £10 a month in the community, £2.50 a week, you can come and ask me any specific questions, any help you need for £2.50 a week. There's not many places you can get that. And it is just me. That's another thing. I know there's companies out there like Team RH that are £10 a month or whatever. But you are a number in a system. You have to be, because of how big a company it is, right? If they've got 30 coaches, so you never know who you're talking to. With me, you just get me. Whether you're in the community or whatever, you'll get no one else other than me. And I'm never going to change that, really. I have ummed and ahed about investing in an app. It costs thousands of pounds. Don't get me wrong, I have looked at other like generic apps, and I'm kind of thinking, is that more beneficial? But it's not. In a sense that, it is a little bit generic. I thought not going down that generic route, as it were, because there are apps out there where there's certain creators. There's a lady that does a lot of lives where she just calculates calories, and she's got an app and she selects every other app off. It's just, I know the app she uses, it's just a generic app, and you just overlay your logo on top of it. That's it. And I'm like, I can't really be bothered doing something like that. I don't see it unless I can really customize it. Unless I can really customize it to the way I like to do things. But to do an app like that costs hundreds of thousands. To have the functionality of an app to do that costs a ridiculous amount of money. And I'm just not in a position to invest that. I haven't got the money to do it. So I just do it the way I do it. But my clients smash it. So again, it's one of them sayings, isn't it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it comes down to a point where Rachel's gone back to work, actually, and she works for a social media company, and they have an app development team, and Rachel's like, maybe you can have a chat with them, and they might do you a bit of something to get, it still costs thousands of pounds. I'm not saying that, but it would be more cost effective than maybe something else. But anyway, there you go. The thing about your community is that it's up to us to utilise it to our benefit. Not everyone does. Paula, I can't. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It is up to you to utilise it. It's all there for you if you want it. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people want a miracle cure. They just want to log into something and have everything done for them. And it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. In a way, I kind of wish I wish there was a miracle cure out there for weight loss, but there isn't. There never will be. There's always got to be an element of effort, and people just unfortunately aren't willing to put that effort in. Right, I've got to go because I'm going to go to the gym and train, and then I'm going to come back, and I've got lots of content to record this afternoon. I'm going to do that podcast today. I'll have a new recipe out later. I'll have my strawberry and white chocolate high protein cheesecake out. That'll be out tea time tonight. I did put a new shopping vlog on yesterday. If you could go and show that some love, that would be absolutely amazing. There are quite a few new bits and pieces in that shopping vlog that I've bought. So that would be, really, really good. But yeah, new recipe will be out later. New podcast will be out tomorrow. I'm doing mine from £500 to personal trainer in 4 years podcast to date. That'll be out tomorrow. And then obviously there'll be a Worth the Calories out on Friday as well. So lots of content coming. Guys, if you are on Planner in the community, I will hopefully see you at 8 p.m. this evening if you are free for this week's Everything Weight Loss Zoom session. If not, I will be back tomorrow, guys, at 9:30 in the morning. That's my only live tomorrow. I've only got one weight loss coaching live this week. So it will be 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to take Rachel to work tomorrow, and then I'm picking her up after work, and she wants to go to Next and M&S in Preston, so we're going to go and do a bit of shopping and go for a Nando's tea. You can have Nando's for tea tomorrow night. Not had a Nando's for ages. So I will be on tomorrow morning at 9:30, and I will be on Friday at 11 a.m. And I'm going to try and do a weekend sign-off live Friday at 5 p.m. as well. Guys, enjoy your Wednesday if I don't see you later, and hopefully I'll see you in the morning about 9:30 if you are free. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. Either see you later or see you tomorrow. And you lovely people over here on Facebook, YouTube, exactly the same. If you're not on Planner in the Community, come join up if you want to. But if not, I will be back at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.